So I have had my Samsung Galaxy A55 for nearly 2 weeks already, and it's easily one of the best phones of this year that I have tried. You are getting absolutely premium build quality, full metal body, absolutely great screen, actually one of the best in this range, and also blazing fast performance of the phone. In this video I will show you all the pros and cons of this phone and if you should purchase this phone. By the way, this is my new channel that I'm uploading to. If you could subscribe, that'd be so much appreciated and would help me so much. I'm really trying to reach 1000 subscribers. If you can help me out, that'd be so cool. Thank you. Let's start with the great stuff. So first, the build quality. It's absolutely awesome, and compared to the A35, which has got plastic build quality, this feels so premium. And honestly, I would suggest you just spend a bit more and get this A55 for the build quality alone. It's so good. The frame is all aluminium and it's kind of brushed aluminium. At least on this white model it's kind of silvery. By the way, I still have some plastic wrapping around it as I'm not keeping this phone. Anyway, you got also full metal buttons that feel absolutely great as well, and you got 3 camera setup that also look quite nice. By the way, the look of this phone, especially in this as I call ice blue one, is absolutely great. My next favorite thing about this phone is the absolutely gorgeous screen of it. It gets 6.6-inch screen and it's 120 Hz AMOLED display, and it's absolutely beautiful. Actually, I think they got it rated and it was the best mid-range screen of this year. So absolutely gorgeous screen. And also this year you get Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protection on the front and on the back, so it will be very resistant to scratches as well. And watching videos and listening to music on the speakers on this phone is an absolute treat. So easily this is one of the best phones you can currently get if you are into watching a lot of movies and videos. The screen is so huge and the colors are so nice, with such nice colors. Again, I will be kind of disappointed to go back to my old phone, as I'm not keeping this phone and I will miss the screen so much because it was such a nice screen. Also, the speaker quality is so nice as well, easily one of the best I have seen on the Samsung. It has got dual stereo speakers with one speaker here and the other speaker here, so the sound quality is also extremely nice. I'm pretty much sure you can't hear it. And even when you basically turn on the sound all the way to maximum, it doesn't get distorted at all. When you compare to other phones, they get completely distorted at the maximum. I mean, it's so beautiful. And easily one of the best things about this whole phone. And the next big thing that I actually love about this phone is the crazy good performance of this phone. And it absolutely flies in everywhere. And in the 2 weeks I have had it, it hasn't crashed on me, not even once, or stuttered or lagged. It's so nice, honestly. So it has got very good CPU this time around, and it has got Exynos 1480 CPU compared to the last year's A54. It's around 30% faster. Also you get faster 5G speeds, and it comes with 8 gigs or 12 gigs of RAM and 120 and 256 gigs of internal storage, so you can choose from. I got mine with the 8 gig version, and even with 8 gig it absolutely flies. Even when you run multiple things at the same time in the background and even open multiple games, it doesn't slow at all at any time, and the performance is absolutely crazy. Combined with the 120 Hz refresh rate, it feels like absolute joy to use, and it's honestly so fast. Everything is just so fluid on it, and also the minimalistic style of this phone, I guess, and Samsung has done a really good job finally with them. Previously the Samsung phones had a lot of bloatware basically, but they have removed all that and it's basically like a stock Android almost, and it's so nice and easy to use. The next thing which I absolutely love is the support for dual SIM cards. and also you can insert memory card to expand the storage of this phone. Also in some regions you also got eSIM support for this phone, so you can use physical SIM cards or eSIMs. You can use either basically one physical SIM card plus one eSIM, or two physical SIM cards at the same time on this phone. And again, you can expand the storage of this phone, which is kind of cool. And the phone is also quite decently protected from water with IP67 rating. It's not the best, but it will be perfect for 99% of the people, honestly. The next awesome thing about this phone is absolutely huge battery. It has got 5000 milliamp battery. However, some other phones also have 5000 milliamp batteries, but their battery life isn't that good. However, on this one, it's absolutely awesome. I can get so many hours of screen time on this phone, and it doesn't drop in battery at all when you use it. Even when you play some games, hardcore games, it just sips on the battery life. And yeah, that's very nice. Also, when I leave it at night, when I go to sleep and the next morning I wake up, it maybe has used only 1 or 2% of the battery while still idling basically. And that's absolutely great, because my Pixel phone that I'm currently using uses almost 10% just for the night. So yeah, the battery management with this CPU is absolutely great on this phone. And you also got a lot of battery protection modes here, so you can protect your battery very well as well. Then there are also some negatives about this phone. The biggest letdown, at least for me personally, is the cameras of this phone. For this price point, I was expecting a lot more basically. When you look at the specs, the camera specs aren't actually that bad on the paper, and you might think that it's actually a very good camera phone, especially since it costs so much as well. The cameras definitely aren't terrible, but they aren't great either. They're just maybe acceptable really, depending on who is using this phone. If you don't use your cameras much and just take a picture very rarely, it won't matter for you much, and the camera quality is probably fine. However, when you start comparing it with other phones and actually inspect the footage up close, yeah, I don't like the camera of this phone. Also, just a few days ago, DxOMark released their camera test on this phone, and as you see, compared to the previous model, they're pretty much identical, and that's a letdown. My current phone, which I'm actually filming right now on, is the Pixel 6a, and the cameras on this Pixel 6a and completely destroys the cameras on this A55, and we are in the, yeah, like 7 years difference between the camera sensors on these phones. Yet the Pixel 6a still completely destroys it for the pictures and the videos. When we check out the DxOMark scores, as you see, the Pixel 6a, which is has very old sensor basically, but it's a good one. As you see, the score is way better. And when we compare to the current Pixel 8, as you see, the difference is absolutely massive. The main thing that I don't really like about this camera is that it cranks up the brightness so much of those pictures to basically make up for that not the best sensor, and that's what all these cheap phones actually do. Well, this is not a cheap phone, as you might know, but anyway, that's what a lot of cheap phones actually do. They just crank up the brightness, so the picture maybe would look a bit better to some people, but when you start looking closely, yeah, they're just trying to fool you. And the dynamic range also isn't the best on this camera really. But again, don't be that put off by these cameras, because again, for 99% of the people, these will be very decent cameras. And these scores I showed you, again, they are just scores. In real life, the lighting you have and your photo skills means just as much as the sensor on those. So if you can try to learn photography a bit more, you will still get great results on this phone. And another thing that I don't like about this phone, especially considering the price point of it, it doesn't have wireless charging, and in the box you only get this charger cable as well. You do not get an adapter like this. If you want to purchase this one, it costs 25 euros, which is, yeah, way too much, and they're just trying to milk more money from you. Also, you don't get a headphone jack on this phone as well, if that is important for you. Yeah, kinda sucks. And on the lower end, A25 and A15, you actually do get a headphone jack on these phones, and they look pretty much like the same phone, except for the build quality. Yeah, kind of shame that it doesn't have headphone jack. Again, this is most probably just more money from you and to get you to purchase the wireless headphones. And the last negative thing about this phone is the absolutely huge price of it. The release price for it was 479 euros, and these are the prices in other countries. In India, 40,000. However, 2 weeks later, I can get this phone already for 385 euros. So almost, yeah, like 20% drop in just 2 weeks. So yeah, quite a huge drop. Don't purchase at this price because the prices will drop huge. And that's really a huge problem, because at 400 euros or 479, if you get properly scammed, you can get way better phones at this price point. For example, I can currently get the Pixel 8 for around 400 euros, a bit more than that actually. Maybe like 440 euros I can get Pixel 8, and that's a flagship phone with absolutely great cameras, one of the best cameras, and even better build quality. So who would pay 479 euros for this phone? I don't really know. The competition completely beats out this phone at this price point. Honestly, I think this phone is great, but the price is totally wrong. I think it should be at around 300 to 350 euros for it to be competitive in the market basically. And I wouldn't suggest it to purchase you for this price. Anyway, apart from those small niggles and maybe the cameras not being the best in the market, this phone is an absolute beast, and it's absolutely great build quality, and it's so solid and it feels so nice and so fast. And yeah, I can highly recommend actually this phone, but not at that price. I would suggest to wait around maybe months or 1 or 2 months before this phone drops to around 300 euro mark, and then I would pick it up at that price. It's amazing phone, honestly guys. Really, you can't really get better than that at that price. So yeah, if you're looking for blazing fast phone with probably the best display currently available, this is the one to get for sure. If this video was helpful to you and you could subscribe, that would mean so much to me. I'm trying to reach 1000 subscribers on this channel, and yeah, it would mean so much if you could subscribe. Thank you. See you later.